of the non-government workforce in Saudi Arabia is foreigners. 90%, 9 out of every 10 people who are gainfully employed in Saudi Arabia are imported from other countries because Islam is so deceitful, so destructive, that it's impossible for a Muslim to be productive. All good Muslims are corrupted by Islam. It's why Renan, the great Islamic scholar, said that the greatest thing we can do for a Muslim is to free them from Islam. The truth is frightening, folks. When I wrote I wrote Tea with Terrorists. Tea with Terrorists was based upon a personal meeting that I had with Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, and Islamic Jihad. And after finding out who funds international terrorism, which is principally the Saudi Arabians, they told me point blank, and I've recorded that in the book. I predicted in Tea with Terrorists precisely how Muslims would deploy both radiological dispersion devices and nuclear bombs in America's largest cities. And I'm convinced that they will do this unless we as Americans take our country back. And so to defeat Islam, and Islam's desire to destroy America. They will never conquer America, but they will destroy her, because to unleash a fission or a radiological dispersion device in our 12 largest cities would cripple our nation's economy to the point that and would cripple our freedoms to the point that the life that we know would be no more. We have to do three things. It's a three-point plan. If we are to do these three things, we can not only save our country from Islamic terror, but we can create the most glorious and most blessed nation on earth. The first of those things are that we as a people, as a nation, have separated ourselves so far from God, we don't even know who He is. We are so misled in terms of what our scriptures actually say, that if we are going to reclaim our nation, we're going to have to stop separating ourselves from God so that we return to a moral compass, and so that we come to understand that truth is not relative. There is an author of truth. He is the God who created us. The second thing we must do is to recognize that our primary weapon against Islam is truth. Islam is a lie. It is the most repulsive and disgusting and transparent lie ever perpetrated on humankind. The reason that the Ayatollah Khomeini had to offer a $2 million fatwa for the assassination of Salman Rushdie was because he wrote about the truth of Islam. He said that Muhammad admitted to having spoken on behalf of Satan. The truth is lethal to Islam, and that's why the power brokers in the Islamic world know it, and why they threaten to kill people like me for exposing Islam, and why they threaten to kill Salman Rushdie. Truth is absolutely lethal to Islam. If our politicians and our media were to read the Islamic scriptures presented here in Prophet of Doom and free on the internet, if you're to read those and come to understand the nature of this false religion and expose it, it would cease to exist. Now, your website, by the way, prophetofdoom.net. Again, you can read both books for free. Go to the Muslim Forum, the other forums on the site. Everything there is free, including Tea with Terrorists and Prophet of Doom. Now, there's a third thing we have to do. We have to recognize that we are paying for our own funeral. Well, truth will eliminate Islam's threat in all free societies, because no one in a free society, given the freedom of choice, will choose to kill on behalf of a rapist, pedophile, incestuous terrorist. They would recognize that a pirate does not know the way to heaven, and therefore to murder and kill on his behalf is utter insanity.
You're referring to Muhammad here.
Referring to Muhammad. So by exposing who Muhammad was according to his scriptures, which is all that is known about this evil man, we will end Islam's ability to terrorize us in free societies. But we have to recognize that the 52 Islamic states are all hellholes. They're all tyrannies. They're the most repressive places on earth. And so if we wish to stop Islamic terrorists from being manufactured there, we have to recognize that in 1400 years, Islam has never created a prosperous economy. It is 100% dependent upon plunder and taxation. And most recently today, and the reason that Islam has become able to attack us in America and Israel today is because of our oil money. We send $1 billion a day to the warlords of countries like Saudi Arabia, who create a hell for their own people and use their tyrannies to indoctrinate their citizens to hate us and equip them to terrorize us. So if we wish to stop that from happening, we have to stop sending them $1 billion a day. We can do that in two ways. We can either become energy independent, which we must do as a nation. We must immediately work to become energy independent, which there are lots of things that we can do as a country, and we have less than 5 years to accomplish that task. And second, if we're going to use our military, we cannot use our military to try to occupy an Islamic country with the false hope that we can cause an Islamic nation to be a democracy, like Iraq. There is no chance that we will prevail in Iraq. We could stay there for 1,000 years. And the moment we leave Iraq, Iraq will be a Shiite theocracy. It will be unified with Tehran. It will be what Saddam Hussein was not. It will be a clear and present danger to America. So if we're going to use our military, the only way we can use our military sanely is to at least control the largest oil distribution facilities so that the status quo, which is to enrich the tyrants to the tune of $1 billion a day so they can fund fundamentalist Islam and manufacture terrorists and kill us, that the status quo is stopped while we develop energy independence. So those are the three things we have to do. We have to return to our God. We have to reclaim truth and our moral compass as a people. We have to use truth to destroy Islam's credibility in the West, because Islam is indistinguishable from Nazism. In fact, in Prophet of Doom, I have 75 pages in the book where I set Hitler's Mein Kampf directly beside the identical passage in the Islamic Quran and Hadith. Truth will destroy Islam's ability to kill us.